Today, I'm really excited to be talking with members of the Building Bridges group that work in Southeast Wales. And I came across the group by doing some creative writing workshops. And what I found is one of the most creative bunch of people that I've met in many a while. And I through words, music and art, I really wanted to delve a little bit deeper into what their creativity does for them, really. So yeah, I'm looking forward to a great debate and discussion this afternoon. And so to give a little bit of background to the group, I'm going to go to Lisa and Cheryl, who are going to give us a little bit of an overview of the group, and then we'll have a chat with the members. So Lisa, could you just tell us a little bit about Building Bridges?
Yeah, so Building Bridges is a charity under the umbrella of Bridges Centre, and we are part of the Disability and Inclusion team. So it makes up of Building Bridges, which is working with young people 14 to 25-year-olds with additional needs in any way they feel they want to be supported through transitions. So it could be jobs or volunteering or being creative, all of those things. And we've been going for about 8 years now, originally a lottery funded project, and now funded by lots of different people. And so the creative writing group itself kind of started, I would say, Sarah could probably help me out here because she's one of the original members, but it's probably about 2 to 3 years ago, isn't it?
Yeah. It's about 3 years.
Yeah. So about 2 to 3 years ago, we sort of had a few members that just really enjoyed writing, and we just came together quite informally. And about 18 months ago, Sarah and Rian, who are members of the group, were part of getting some funding to do a project with the group. So that's how it sort of all came about. And we did everything on Zoom, as everybody was starting to do as we went into lockdown. Cheryl kindly runs the group for me because I'm not necessarily a writer myself, but Cheryl is a writer. So Cheryl's been working with the guys for quite a bit of time now, for that whole time.
Yeah.
So it's been really fun doing things on Zoom as well, actually. And it's one of the groups that have decided that they'd like to continue doing things on Zoom as well as live.
Well, doing it on Zoom, we've had more people being able to attend. So at the moment, there's 11 members of the group so far. We just, each week, we just look at different prompts and different themes. Sometimes we use photographs. Sometimes we just do random word exercises. And we all realize that we write in different ways and writing about different things. And the purpose of the group is for everybody to get their voice heard through their writing. So that's sort of my role, to facilitate where their journey's going and just maybe keep us on track sometimes.
Yeah. So, okay, that's a fantastic introduction, really, for the group. I think my first question to open up to everyone is it's a quite simple one, really, I suppose. How has lockdown been for you, and how do you feel is perhaps different to, should we say, normal life? Perhaps we could start there, really, and have a little chat about that. How has it been this last year, for life?
For me, it hasn't really been hugely different, because I was a bit of a shut-in before. But I've had a lot of fun joking with my parents as they complain about things, and I'm like, welcome to my life.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
How would you say it's affected your creativity, Sarah, would you say?
I've definitely been working more with illustration and trying to create a comic book and stuff. Whereas before I was working a bit more on my music, because now my mum and dad are home a lot more. So playing music all day would just annoy them. So that's been fun, because that's been a goal and a passion of mine for a long time, that I've wanted to actually get and work on and just never bring myself to do it. And I think with the lockdown restricting all the other possible things I could do, it's given me more of an excuse to actually get started.
Interesting, yeah. Giving you a bit of space to do that, perhaps, even though our space has been restricted.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Sarah, for kicking us off. George, how about you? How has lockdown been for you?
Well, I think it's safe to say it was a bit interesting, but aside from like going out and doing like some activities or going to the shops, there are times when I don't really go out that much. But
yeah,
and they seeing as like I hadn't really been doing a lot since I left college in 2019.
And how about your creativity? Because I know you're a very creative young man as well. How do you feel about your creativity and being able to craft your words? Because I know you write.
I think it's been very well. Yeah, I mean, doing a lot of things here and there, a bit of video making sometimes on the computer, or like a bit of writing about my own stories, or recounting an actual event that happened to me in the past.
That's interesting. So giving you a space, like say, to go back a little bit and go forward, to have some time to create, really, where sometimes life takes that away from us, perhaps normal life when we're busy. Yeah. And how has the group Building Bridges helped you with lockdown, do you think?
I think it helped out really well. Well, I've enjoyed like the film workshop, the creative writing, and the drama when that used to be on.
Yeah, great stuff. Okay, how about you, Rhian? How has lockdown been for you?
It's changed my habits. So I got used to staying indoors now. So when I go out, it's more, I get more anxiety because things have changed and it's just confusing sometimes. So where it used to be like you go into a shop and you could go past people. Nowadays it's more you got to keep space. You got to keep distance from the till. You got to wear a mask. You got to avoid a lot of things. And yeah.
No, I think that's a really interesting point you raise there about it's raised our anxiety levels, like you said, for all the different ways of behavior and things we have to look out for, etc., which does get inside our minds and our bodies, doesn't it? Yes, which can cause us to feel a bit breathless and a bit nervous going back out into the world. Yes, definitely. Do you think as we come out of lockdown, we will we'll lose a bit of that anxiety? Do you think? Are you looking forward to doing a few other things, like, or maybe there's a concert, or maybe there's going into a cafe again, things like that? Do you think we can calmly go back into that world, or are you a little bit apprehensive?
Hoping for that, but can't always guarantee it. So
right,
I just have to alter.
Yeah. Thanks, Rhian.
It's a bit unknown, I think, isn't it? That's no one really knows what's going to happen. So it's it can be quite confusing. I think that's what people have been dealing with, haven't we? So the whole of lockdown is that unknown.
I think I feel a bit like Rhian because I haven't been out that much either. So the thought of going out, as much as I want to go out, there's so much you got to think about now, and things you got to remember and stuff. So it's a unusual time, really.
Oh, thanks, Rhian, for that. Emily, how about you? How has lockdown been for you?
Well, I think with this lockdown, it's been a long time since I've seen all of you guys on building bridges because it's right now staying at home and isolating is boring because we don't get to see anyone at all. And to me, I would say, well, we can't really go shopping really, so we have lots of big deliveries coming to our house. And also, we've been isolated since September. Not September, since I was back in college just after my 17th birthday. I was in college, and then all of a sudden everyone from college started to feel sick with the COVID, and my dad had a phone call from my mum saying pick me up from college because of COVID. So yeah, that's when it started really, and it's been a long time since we've been isolating for a long time because we didn't have any garden visits with anyone because the restrictions started then, and we couldn't go to shops or anywhere. So it's just boring.
Yeah, that's really well put, and I know exactly where you're coming from.
And I really wanted to see my niece again and hug her.
That's such a simple point, isn't it, about hugging loved ones, which we can't do. And I think as humans, we need that sense of touch. We need that belonging, don't we? We need...
Yeah, because, when my sister hugs my niece, it makes me and mum and dad feel really jealous.
Yeah. Oh, that's some very profound points there,
Emily. Yeah, that's why I've been through this difficult time during lockdown.
And has Building Bridges obviously been a really positive force, so you can share these thoughts with your friends online. It's helped a sense of belonging as well. Emily, would you say?
Well, I'd say with Building Bridges has improved my my feelings because I get to spend some time with them before lockdown started.
And what about in lockdown, Emily, with the Zooms and things that we've been doing? Have they been helpful? Have you enjoyed doing those?
Yeah, because my favourite one was when we were just doing marshmallows and making pizza.
Yeah, so we had an online 2-day festival, didn't we?
Yeah, lovely.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that, everyone. That overview of how it's been. So delving a little bit deeper then, what things have helped you along the way? They don't have to be the creative things. It could be walking, anything, which is quite creative, I suppose. But I just wondered, perhaps we could just have a little chat about what things, if it's books, if it's music, if it's films, if it's walking, if it's cooking.
Well, I love watching films. My favourite
We start with Emily. Okay, go on.
Film of all is Mamma Mia at the moment.
Ah, yes, the musical. Yeah, well, that's great, Emily. I love that. So films have helped you. Hello, Kyle has just joined. Hello, Kyle, as well. Look, thanks for coming along. Okay, so Sarah, how about you? I love those guitars in the background there. I was hoping you might give us a song or something. I don't know, but yeah.
Maybe.
Is music your first love, Sarah?
Yeah. I have like a history of selective mutism and stuff, so it's always been really difficult for me to communicate my thoughts and ideas and stuff, and I really found a great outlet with music in being able to do that. So yeah, and with lockdown not being able to go to like open mic nights and stuff, I have tried my hand at a few Facebook Live performances, which were fun. it's definitely weird performing to a camera.
Yeah.
And not being able to see anybody who's actually watching.
Definitely, yeah, because it's that nuance of humanity, you know, it's the way people react. It's slightly different. It is there, but even now, isn't it? You know, we're picking up little clues of how people are feeling, perhaps. But the performance thing, yeah, it can be, yes, somewhat. I don't know, almost quite deadening. You just feel you're failing all the time, perhaps. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like you're telling a joke and nobody's laughing because you can't hear any laughing.
It's true, yes. Yeah. So music, that's you would say that's helped you along this year really of silence in a way, and it's given
It's helped me throughout all my life. But definitely during lockdown, it's been really important.
Thank you. Okay. George, how about you? What's helped you along the way over this year?
Well, I think some things have like helped. Like, for example, like sometimes listening to music or like watching YouTube videos. Like, for example, like when I went to see Chet Wayne's War of the Worlds live on stage, like. And it also like reminds me of like when I went to see it in 2018. Best night of my life, pretty much.
Was it?
Great cast, amazing music, amazing illusions, and a real life Martian fighting machine on the stage. And it was moving as well.
Wonderful. So did you say that you had watched programs about it or similar things on YouTube? So that's helped you, the YouTube world, which is so full of all sorts of things, from the ridiculous to the wonderful. So you find yourself gravitating to YouTube videos, George, a bit, is it? To find...
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
And it also helps me, like, inspire me with some of my creative writing.
All right. And how does that inspire you? Is it by watching things or learning things from tutorials, or just inspired?
Probably just inspired by watching.
Fantastic. You have some great interests, George, don't you? I know you're a huge fan of Doctor Who as well, if I'm right in thinking.
Yeah.
And War of the Worlds, really interesting sort of fantastical worlds in a way, which maybe help us to understand our reality, perhaps.
Yeah, War of the Worlds especially.
Yeah.
Because it's got themes in it that even like resonate even to this day. Things we do, wars we fight, religions we believe. It cleverly criticizes all of that, but does it in a smart and clever way.
That's very true. Yes, it carries on. Great works of art, like you said, it resonates today. Yeah, maybe
within the group as well, George. You've been you've sort of, with your writing, you've kind of found a love of recounting your memories, don't you? And kind of remembering the feelings that you had when you went to see these show, you know, the War of the Worlds show. So it's something you've been working on, is kind of being able to write and express really how you felt in those times, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's a very creative response then, George. Thank you for that. Okay.
Right.
Rhian, how about you? What things have helped you along the way of this past year?
Music and books and film.
Music playing or listening, you mean, or a bit of both? Do you play an instrument?
I play an instrument, but I don't own the actual instrument.
Oh, what instrument is that?
Drums.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's quite loud. Yes, you play drums. That's amazing. That's a great skill. Great to get some of that energy out as well, isn't it? So. Books, music, and films. Any particular ones, or do you revisit certain books, or any favourites?
I have some favourites, though I've been told there's too many of them.
Could you give us a few ones that you really recommend? Perhaps someone watching us as a really good book.
It's a series of books, but they're very good. The Carter Brothers. And then it's got a Next Generation series after, which follows their children, which is...
Okay. I've never heard of that. And who's the author of that then? You know?
I can't remember the author's name.
Okay, the Carter brothers, right? Okay, but it's got a series, so it's like when you watch something on TV, like Line of Duty or something, which seems to be the buzzword. Like you can dip into it and it carries on, is it? You know, the books.
Yeah.
That you like.
So you get to kind of like near the end of one book, and then you get a glimpse into what the next book could be, following the next brother.
Yes.
Yeah.
And how about your own creativity? Because I know you've written some great poems in the sessions we've had. Do you find writing is a place you can go to help you deal with things?
Yes, but I have been told off when I get too into it because I stay up too late.
Right, yeah. Maybe overthinking, yeah, that can be as well, I suppose, but...
You're a definite night writer, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Most writers are, aren't they? Or creative people. The night brings creativity.
Night owls.
Yes. Thank you, Rhian. Okay. Kyle, how about you? Okay, if we come to you now, what things have helped you along the way of this last year?
I have regular Zoom calls with my friends. We do quite a number of games nights. We do. Right. We play Scribblio. We play Psych, and we do kind of those events.
Yeah.
We're focusing more on myself, I would say. I don't know. Getting out on big walks helps me a lot because you feel like you can take a breath of fresh air. You're not stuck in the misery of your own home. What else as well for myself? I would say getting me through this pandemic would probably be like YouTube. Watching really really interesting documentaries, because if you I might sound a bit controversial, but the ability to live on my own was actually really, really good, because me being stuck in a house with someone, I'll end up going crazy. And I can't live with anyone. I like living on my own, not because I'm a recluse, but I just like my own space. I get up when I would like, or I get up when I don't want. It's like I ultimately feel Rhian's pain actually when she was told to go to bed after writing. I mean, I can go to bed. And that I can't. I don't have that problem, because I can write until about what time I would like, if I keep my noise down, if I don't annoy my neighbours. But I could just go to bed whenever I want, and I can get up whenever I want. But I do have boundaries, like if I have an appointment the next day. But I don't have those physical barriers of like being spoken to say go to bed. I don't. So I would say living on my own, it's really made me appreciate like the peace and quiet, because during this pandemic, it's just, I have been involved in drama a lot, and I've just turned off my phone and just like spend the whole day like just resting, etc. And it's actually really, really good, because if I was immersed in like family dramas, etc., where would be my safe space? I mean, I think I'll probably have to lock myself in a closet or something.
No, that's a very interesting and honest answer, Kyle, and I think that's something we can all relate to as well. I suppose you're talking about autonomy, aren't you? And talking about how I think Lisa mentioned how we feel we're out of control in the pandemic, and how do we regain a bit of autonomy, control over our lives? And you've certainly articulated that for yourself. You can be a bit lonely perhaps, but it's also got its pros, because of how you just described how you like to live your life. Yeah. Thank you, Kyle.
As well with Kyle, I was just going to say, with your little outside space outside your flat, you've been doing a lot of work with that, haven't you, and campaigning to get that lovely outside space for you and your neighbours.
I've got loads of stuff for my outside. I have so
yeah.
It's all for my area really. It's just it's nice where you could just. So I was sitting in my friend's back garden yesterday, and we were having a cup of tea, and it's just it's nice to have that nice to have that area of peace. Really, it's just I mean, my neighbours understand now. They just do their own stuff, but I mean, we all understand in this era. I think it's like you could. If you just live and you enjoy your peace, that's good. But if you want to make noise and if you want to do drugs or do antisocial behaviour, then things probably will get awkward.
That's a great out then. Yeah, thank you. Quite a portent. Thank you, Kyle, for that. And thank you, everyone, for sharing those what things have helped you along the way. Which I think, yeah, almost like these invisible crutches that suddenly, we really rely on, every day. No, some really interesting points there. Wow, I can't believe we got a great chat here. But my final question, it's two things really. It was would anyone want to share a poem or a piece of work that you've created? More than welcome, anything. But no pressure, obviously. I don't want to put anyone on the spot. There's that. But then the final question is really for someone watching it, dipping into our podcasts, I wondered if you could perhaps offer a bit of advice about mental health and well-being on a personal level. How can we transform ourselves? How we can be resilient, etc. Any advice, any mantras, any things that you could impart from your experiences, perhaps, so we could leave with a message of hope and, connection, perhaps. Yeah. So that's my two sort of, be great to round it up with any of those, really. Messages of advice and anything you want to share. How do you feel, Sarah?
I think with me, Petra, I think it's learning that actually never to be afraid of saying how you feel. Never be afraid of saying how you feel, because how you feel is how you feel. It's never right or wrong. It's how you feel. So that's fine. And it's not being afraid to say that and think that you're strange or odd, because actually, from my own personal experience, saying stuff to various people, they're like, yeah, I think that all the time.
Yeah.
When actually for you, you might think, oh my goodness, actually, I'm not strange, I'm not odd, I'm not the only person thinking this, or thinking about this. Other people are as well. So it's never being afraid to say what you're feeling, if you're worried about, particularly if you're worried about what you're feeling,
Yeah. Good message. Yeah, totally.
I think for me is always to remember to always be kind to yourself. Because I think as individuals, we're really hard on ourselves. And sometimes we just need to give ourselves a break as well as each other. And I'm forever telling people to be kind, on themselves. But then sometimes I forget about myself and I think, oh yeah, maybe I should give myself a break for that and stuff like that. So I think key thing for me is remember to be kind to yourself. That's important. Because we need to look after ourselves as well as each other.
That's very true, Carol. Yeah. Sarah, any wisdom?
Well, I'd be happy to perform a song. But I would say, in terms of advice or anything, I would say, if there is anybody out there who is normal, then simply by being normal, they are the weirdest and oddest person on the planet.
I definitely agree with that. What is normal?
Normal is weird.
Lovely. Yeah. Thank you. And Rian, any messages of advice or things you want to share?
When it all seems stormy and gloomy, there's can a rainbow guide you to happy times.
Oh.
Don't give up. And yeah, when you feel alone, just know there's someone out there that will support you.
Thank you, Rhian. Beautiful
Absolutely,
message.
Rhian.
Rainbow, yes, it will come through. Thank you. So, okay, so to end our podcast of Mind Medicine today, I'd like to have a bit of creativity shown. So, Sarah, are you okay to perform your song?
Hopefully, yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. Yeah, away you go. Yeah.
This is how our story goes. So the lonely light and the broken rose, adrift along a sea of stars, together dance to embers spark. And so I will wait for you. Yeah, I will wait for you, for you. Along the shores of the abyss, I'll endure the flames of Erebus. For you, oh, I will wait for you. Right beside of heaven's gate, I'll stand here for the rest of days. For you, oh, for you, I'll wait here for you. 'Cause you're the light to my dark, the angel's flame to my demon's heart. Just close your eyes, let you feel and see. You're everything to me, and so I will fight for you. Yeah, I will fight for you. I'll rise up strong from hell's embrace to make my way through the devil's gaze. For you, oh, I will fight for you. Against the tide of heaven's host, I'll wait on through knowing you're close. So for you, oh, for you, I'll fight them all for you. And this is how our story goes. A lonely light and a broken rose, adrift along a sea of stars, together dance to embers spark. And so I will be with you. Yeah, I will be with you.
Wow, Sarah, beautiful. Wow. Do you know, that's better than 90% of stuff from Six Music. That is. Wow, really beautiful voice. Really melody, lyrics. I was there with you. It's really beautiful, really moving. Thank you. Wow. Rhian, did you want to read something and to share?
Yeah, I kind of found something I've written a while back with some errors. I labeled it my anxiety. So, I let you control me, destroying my mind, making me act like I was not kind, changing the game we play when I wanted you to stay. Made everything black and white, make the words I heard feel tight. It made me feel small as I looked up at you from this height. On the outside, I may have acted mad, but inside I was sad. I didn't understand what you said. I didn't realize what it meant. I took the joke as an insult, and once I realized that what you said wasn't mean, I was filled with guilt. It took me by surprise, held me tight. I didn't see it coming, but you were always my light. You guided me through the dangerous world around. With you by my side, I could feel my feet touching the ground. You comforted me when I was alone and feeling down. I know how much time has passed and how we have grown.
Thank you, Rhian, as well. Beautiful poem. I love those little couplets of those rhymes, yeah, which really sort of hit home. And some beautiful images there. And that's a wonderful way to end the podcast. I think this the best one we've ever ended a podcast.
That's amazing.
A song and a poem.
Yeah.
I'd just like to say thank you very much for the, everyone at the Building Bridges for sharing that and those words and your time this afternoon. Thank you very much.